Hello YouTube, Asuma here with another Minecraft video about mobs and how they can pick up items, and this has been a heavily requested video lately. People seem to want to know everything they can about how these mobs pick up items. So I've been talking to Sci Guy Ryan, he's been looking through the game code and we've come up with all of the information we can find about these mobs and how they pick up items. Now normally when I do this sort of video I would give you a demonstration of every fact that I would tell you, but unfortunately that's not going to be possible this time round for a few various reasons, so it's mainly going to be me talking. So let's get right into it. First of all, there's two types of mobs that can spawn. There's ones with items already equipped and ones that have the ability to pick up items. Now these aren't actually the same thing. If you see a mob with items already equipped, it doesn't mean that they can actually pick up other items. Now another fact that you may be aware of is that if a mob picks up an item, that mob is never going to despawn, and that doesn't count for mobs that spawn with items already equipped on them. So they will actually despawn like other mobs naturally do anyway. So these mobs that can pick up items, they have a percentage chance based on what difficulty you're playing in to actually be able to pick up these items. So right now we're playing on hard difficulty, which means that 20% of the mobs that spawn have the ability to pick up the items. So a couple of these that have gone through already, we've seen pick up the pumpkin and put it on its head. Now if you play in normal mode, there's only a 7% chance that they can pick them up, and if you play on easy there's a 1% chance, which is like... Now this counts for almost all types of spawns. At the moment we're using mob egg spawns, which is the same as natural spawns, like mobs spawning in dark areas by the game code, and also mobs from spawners. All types of those mobs will have the same percentage chance, there's no difference between each one. Now if you're going to use custom spawners, then there is actually a difference there, because using a spawner that has the custom properties and isn't naturally spawned into the map, the pickup ability won't be a percentage chance, it will literally be yes or no, because you'll be able to edit that in the code for the actual spawner itself. So it can either spawn mobs that pick up items every single time or spawn ones that can't at all. So we've seen that zombies can pick up these items, and you may be wondering what other mobs. Well, I've been testing it, we've been checking the game code as well. Zombies have the ability to pick up items, we've seen that. Skeletons do as well, zombie pigmen, wither skeletons, and also zombie villagers. They are the only mobs that have the ability to actually pick up these items. Now what items they can pick up, they can actually pick up any item in the inventory that you see here, any type of block, any type of weapon or tool, absolutely anything that you can throw down onto the ground they will be able to pick up. Now what's interesting is that if you throw an item at them, like let's say stone, they can actually pick up to 64 of those, so they can pick up an entire stack of items, but only up to one stack. They can't carry more than that, and if you were to throw them something like ender pearls or eggs, they'd only be able to pick up 16. Now there is one exception for this, and that's the item that we're using right here. That is the pumpkin. Now the pumpkin, it will actually be able to only pick up one of these despite them being stackable like that, and that's because it puts it straight on its head, and then it won't be able to hold another pumpkin in its hand. So a mob can pick up an item, and it can also ditch an item in favour of a different one, and the type of item it will favour for is a sword, because it will be able to defend itself better with a sword than it would an apple. So let's give it an apple, and it can pick that up, and now it's going to ditch that in favour of a sword. Now the wooden and the gold sword are ranked at the same level, so if it has a wooden one it's not going to pick up a gold, and if it has a golden one it won't pick up a wooden one either. So if I chuck that down there you'll see ignore it, but if we give him a stone sword he's going to evaluate that that's better than the wooden one. Same for the iron, and same for the diamond as well. Now this also works with armour, which I haven't put in my hotbar. Let's put some of that in there now. You'll see that it will ditch the lower type of armour for a better one. So we'll give it a chest plate, and it'll ditch that for a chainmail one, it'll ditch that for an iron, and it will ditch that for a diamond. Now this doesn't work with enchantments. For example, if you have a leather chest plate with protection 4 on it, it will actually ditch that in favour of a chain chest plate, so it won't factor in the effects of enchantments. So there is another weapon in the game as well, and that is the bow. And the skeleton is the only mob that can make use of this. You can give it to other mobs as well that can pick up items, but they won't be able to shoot arrows with it. Now what's interesting is that the skeleton would actually favour a wooden sword over a bow, so it's almost like it doesn't treat this as a weapon. And as well as that, you can't give it a better bow because it doesn't process enchantments. So if you gave it an enchanted bow, it would see it's already holding a bow in its inventory and it wouldn't pick it up, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it works. It would rather have a wooden sword over a bow. Now, as well as this, a moment ago I didn't show you the gold armor, and that's because this is kind of funky. Now, if you gave a mob that had a leather tunic a golden chest plate, it would favour the gold chest plate over the leather tunic. If you gave it golden boots when it had leather boots, it would actually keep the leather boots. And as well as this, there's a few other quirks, like if it has golden boots, it won't accept chain boots, but it would accept a chain chest plate over a golden chest plate. So when it comes to gold, it's kind of funky, but in general it should go leather, then gold, chain, iron, and then diamond. So when these mobs die, they're actually going to drop every single item that you've given to them. Now, even if I hit this guy, the items that are going to drop are not going to take any damage at all, with the exception of the helmet. And the helmet can actually take damage from the sunlight. So if we go around and pick all of this up, you'll see that the leather cap has taken some damage, but the rest of it will remain undamaged. Now, this isn't the same for mobs that spawn naturally with items on them, it's just for the ones that you've given the items to. Now, the ones that will spawn with the items already there, they have a percentage chance to drop the item, and the item will usually be heavily damaged. So that is all there is to know about mobs and how they pick up items, and of course I hope you found this information useful. Big thanks to Sci Guy Ryan for all his help looking through the game code and figuring everything out. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.